Hello YouTube, another update for the channel for Casual Carrier. This is the segment Hail the King, Chapter 6, Unexpected Power. Alright. Faye was startled. Max gaming time for today? What's that? He wasn't expecting something like this to happen just as he was getting ready to go back to the rogue encampment. Faye's vision blurred the next second. The whole world started to twist and fade right in front of his eyes. Then complete darkness hit him. Faye reopened his eyes and found himself in the king's palace again. Magnificent decors, splendid furniture, and the dark red gold gilded king-size bed was the complete opposite of the dark, bloody feel of the Diablo world. What happened? Did I just have a nightmare? Faye was confused. Faye was still lying on the bed. The only difference between pre-nightmare and post-nightmare was that he felt very hot and was dripping sweat, as he had just come out of a sauna room. He pushed himself up from the bed and surprisingly found out that the dizziness he felt when he had just woken up from this world disappeared. So were the pain from his head and chest injuries. Was this not a dream? Faye subconsciously felt that something special had happened to him, but he couldn't point out where. The whole palace was quiet. No one was around. Faye got out of bed and stretched a little. Zip! The sound of ripping cloth. Faye's white night turtleneck shirt suddenly got teared open on many spots. If you looked at him in the moment, you would probably conclude that he was a homeless guy, judging from the ripped shirt as well as his torn pants. Damn! What is this? Faye got a little scared. All the stuff that had happened to him made his nerves a little bit weaker. He felt as though he was close to having a mental breakdown. He looked down, and upon closer inspection, he realized that the clothes he was wearing were a little bit small for his size. When he was stretching, he easily tore open an uncomfortable small clothing. What's this pitiful quality? Who makes such clothes for a king? Wind breezed through the palace and Faye felt the chill. He was almost naked. Crap, I have to find something to wear. Faye glanced around the palace and found a wardrobe-like piece of furniture. He opened it up and found that there were many luxurious clothing in it. He picked out a fitting black nightshirt and pants. He put them on and walked toward the mirror. The man in the mirror shocked Faye. It was a man about 6 feet tall. His shoulder-length black hair was bundled to the back of his head by a ruby hair ring. His handsome, manly face, ripped body could make any woman fall for him. God damn! This handsome son of a bitch in the mirror is me? Faye wouldn't believe it. It was unreal for him. After the dancing around sketchily in the front of the mirror and seeing that the man in the mirror mirrored his movements, he finally accepted it. Ha! Man, oh man! Although that Alexander was a retard, but he's got quite a face. He is way more handsome than me. Faye couldn't stop posing in front of the mirror, as if he had just discovered a new continent. From now on, I'm Alexander, Faye said to himself happily. After his new discovery, he walked towards a row of medieval full knight armors at the center of the palace. He picked a suit of armor about his height and pulled out a double-handed sword that the armor was holding. He swung the sword forcefully to try to get the feel for power and being a king. But after he did that, his facial expression went weird. How is this so light? This is a pathetic toy, isn't it? A majestic 5-foot-long double-handed sword had to weigh at least 30 to 40 pounds, but Faye felt it was like holding a feather. There was no weight to it at all. It was strange. Dink! Faye struck the full metal armor with the sword to see if the sword was a toy or not, but the unexpected happened. The armor was 1 centimeter thick. The sword went through it easily, as if Faye was cutting through a piece of paper. The strike cut the armor in half, which the upper half of the armor shortly landed on the ground, making another tink sound. Holy shit! Although Faye didn't believe in God or ghosts, but there was no other way to explain what had happened. Why am I so strong now? Faye subconsciously swung the sword again, but he didn't feel any weight. The double-handed sword was clearly a real weapon. This feeling. Faye closed his eyes, trying to remember the way he handled the sword. He felt the same as when he was a barbarian in the dream, swinging the double-handed axe at the monsters. Did I bring back the power of my barbarian character from the dream into the real world? He couldn't get that thought out of his head and quickly went about to test his unlikely hypothesis. He put the sword back to the damaged armor and looked at the other weapons in the palace. Something quickly caught Faye's eyes. Further away at the corner of the palace was a huge, weirdly shaped double-handed axe. The handle of the massive blade was about 5 feet long and looked to weigh about 100 pounds. It stood up by a black, heavy armor. Its weight had put a dent in part of the tile floor. A bizarre-looking carving on the body of the axe made it look even more intimidating. Faye rushed over there and picked it up. Suddenly, Faye felt the axe and him had become one, as if the axe was part of his body. He closed his eyes again and concentrated on the feeling. That's tight. That's right. This feeling of my level 3 weapon mastery in the dream, especially with axes, because I was a barbarian. The double-handed axe was like a windmill in Faye's hands, as all the axe techniques were performed by Faye at the master level, as if he had used axes for more than 10 years. Faye felt that he could conclude that this hypothesis was proven correctly. He had actually acquired all the skills, strength, damage, and all the attributes of a level 5 barbarian in the dream. The newfound power that had given Faye a profound sense of security. So this is the feeling of power. I wonder what level this power belongs to this magical world. As Faye was feeling amazing about the newfound power, he suddenly remembered that Master Lambert said something about enemies still sieging the castle. Maybe I should go take a look. This thought grew stronger and stronger in Faye's mind. Maybe I could help with my power. Faye decided to go. On the point of safety, he picked out the thickest, heaviest armor in the palace and put it on. This armor had literally covered Faye from head to toe, with only opening between the holes for Faye to see through. Faye felt like he was wearing the first ever Iron Man suit from the movie Iron Man 1, the one that Robert Downey Jr. built in Iraq. This 50-pound armor would literally anchor Faye to the ground, but now Faye felt like he was wearing a Nike brand, ultra-thin, sweat-resistant running gear. Faye tapped the helmet with the axe. Tink, tink. Faye was satisfied to hear the sound. Ha! No goddamn arrows will get me now. King Alexander, roll out! Faye looked around as he left the palace quickly. He was trying to show off in front of the guards, but who knew that there was no one guarding the king? The palace was just quiet. As he kept walking, he saw 2 heavily wounded soldiers sleeping beside the palace's main gate. He looked at these 2 tired soldiers just came from the frontline battlefield. Shit, my palace is only guarded by 2 wounded soldiers? The battle must be at its peak. The battle cries were getting louder and louder as Faye got closer and closer to the main gate. There's no time to waste, Faye thought as he started to sprint even faster. And that's the end of the chapter in this update. That's all, folks. Be sure to like and subscribe, and more importantly, have fun reading and listening to these stories. If you would like any of your favorite web novels and or fan fiction turned into an audiobook, just let us know in the comment section below. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.